What's going on, muscle monsters? Alain Gonzalez here, and in this video we're going to go over the 7 laws of lifting for muscle growth. So if you're someone who's struggling to gain muscle mass or you want to train more optimally, then you need to watch this video. Now before we jump in, I want to let you know that I just purchased another 1,000 copies of my book Bulk Up Fast, and I want to give you one for free. All you have to do is cover the shipping and I'll send it anywhere in the world. All right, so click the link in the description, tell me where to send it, cover the small shipping fee, and it's yours. All right, so without further ado, let's jump right in. Rule number 1, do the work. And here's what I mean. You need to focus on total volume. What is volume? It's basically the number of sets times reps times weight we lift. All right, and the reason that sets are important is because we know, because of the research, that when we perform multiple sets per exercise, we're going to build more muscle than doing just one set per exercise. Okay, and that's pretty common knowledge. But why are reps important? Well, reps are important because they determine what energy systems we use. So depending on how many reps we use or perform is going to determine if we're training for strength or endurance or hypertrophy or a mix. They also dictate how much total work we do. So if we're doing 100 pounds times 1, that's 100 total pounds. But if we're doing 100 pounds times 8, then that's 800 total pounds. And as long as we're doing progressively more volume, we're going to continue to build muscle, because volume is one of the main mechanisms by which we build muscle. Number 2 is train each muscle twice per week. We have research that shows that even when volume is equal, training a muscle group twice per week builds more muscle. Okay? And the reason is quite simple. It's because we are stimulating protein synthesis, right? Putting that muscle in a growing state more frequently throughout the week, or at least that's my opinion. Another reason that training a muscle group more frequently is important is because of the repeated bout effect. And that basically means that the more frequently we train a muscle, the faster or the better, right? The better we get at recovering. So someone who trains their chest once per week might notice that they continuously get sore anytime they train their chest, all right? And they think it's because they got a killer workout. That's not the case, or at least a lot of the times it's not, especially if you've been training for a long period of time. Someone who trains their chest, 2 or 3 times a week, that person is not going to experience that level of soreness because they're able to recover faster. And the faster you're able to recover, the quicker you'll be able to get back in and progress. So train each muscle group at least twice per week. The next one is lift heavy. Now, I'm not saying that you need to lift heavy like a power lifter or do, 1 rep maxes in the gym. All I'm saying is that we have plenty of research that shows that if we want to train with a lighter load, we're going to have to do much more work than we would with a heavier load. For example, it's going to be much easier to build your chest, right, with heavy bench pressing than it is with a bunch of push-ups. Now, this isn't to say, again, that we have to train with a really heavy load, but if we can train with a load that challenges us, typically, 55% of our 1 rep max or more, then we're going to be able to build muscle much more efficiently. So start lifting heavier. Number 4, get stronger. Again, I'm not referring to training like a power lifter with the focus of, getting a 500-pound bench press. But the focus whenever you go in the gym should be to progress and get stronger, to do gradually more work. And the way we're going to do this is, number 1, by keeping the sets and the reps the same, but increasing the load slightly, or by keeping the sets and the load the same and maybe increasing the reps. This is known as progressive overload, and it's the main pathway by which we build muscle. So if you're not gradually getting stronger in the gym, and when I say getting stronger, here's what I mean. Either you can take 225 for 10 and then aim to do it for 12 next week, or you can do 225 for 10 and then next week do 230 for 10. Okay, both of those are getting stronger. So as long as you are getting stronger, your body, your muscles are going to have to adapt to the newly added stimulus by growing. Law number 5, controlled reps. All right, we have to control the rep through the entirety of the lift. All right, a lot of times you'll see people, they'll lift the weight up, which is great, right? That's what we want to do, but then they'll just let gravity take over, and then they'll only basically focus on the concentric. There's 4 components to every rep. There's the concentric, and we'll use the bench press as an example, where you're pushing the weight up. There's an isometric at the top, right? There is the eccentric, where you're lowering the weight with gravity, and then there is another isometric at the bottom of the lift. We need to focus on ensuring that we're controlling the weight the entire time. So the concentric, move the weight fast and explosive with good form. This means you're controlling the weight, but also rather than just letting gravity take over, right? We want to ensure that we're controlling the weight down. This is going to produce more time under tension. All right, so if you take 2 guys, one guy's doing 225 for 10, but he's just dropping the weight at the top to get back to that starting position so he can re-engage, right? So he can push the bar up again. That guy is going to have less time under tension than the guy who does, 225 for the same 10, but is controlling the weight. Who do you think is going to build more muscle? Who do you think is going to be able to handle more weight over time, right? It's the guy who is controlling the reps. Not only that, but the guy who's not controlling the reps is going to become more susceptible to injury. And this doesn't just mean on the eccentric, on the concentric too, right? We want to make sure that we are pushing the weight, moving the load with the muscles we are intending on using. So make sure you are controlling each and every single rep before you try to progress. Do not try to progress unless you're doing all of your prescribed volume with perfect form, right? And controlling each rep. Number 6, focus on heavy compound lifts. Okay? If the focal point of your training is bicep curls, you're not going to be maximizing the amount of muscle that you build. All right? You need to focus on the big 6. So what are they? I did a whole video on the big 6, but we'll quickly go over it. All right, if you focus on the big 6 and these become the focal point of your training, then you are ensuring that you're hitting every single muscle group. Okay, number 1 is a horizontal push, a horizontal pull, number 2, right? But then we need a vertical push and a vertical pull, and then we need a lower body push and a lower body pull. All right, so a bench press, okay, an overhead press, for example. Then we have a pull-up, maybe a bent barbell row for your horizontal pulling, and then something like a squat and a deadlift. Okay, if those are the focal points of your training and you are progressively getting stronger in those lifts, you are going to build muscle maximally. Okay, so make sure that your training program focuses on getting stronger on key lifts, not just on things like bicep curls and tricep extensions. And then number 7, none of this matters without consistency. We must follow these rules/laws consistently. If we're not consistent, then we're not going to maximize our efforts. Everything that I just laid out for you in this video is critical, but if we're not applying this consistently, then we are never going to maximize our potential for muscle growth. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, click the like button below. Do not forget, if you want a whole 90-day program laid out for you with the nutrition, training, everything covered in here. Whether you want to track macros or follow a meal plan, it doesn't matter. It's all in here and it's completely free. All you have to do is cover the shipping. So go to the link in the description, tell me where to send it, and it's yours. All right, don't forget to subscribe, and I will talk to you in the next one. Peace.